My name is Kevin Nelson, and I'm a home missioner in the Upper New York Annual Conference. I'm speaking to you out of around more than a dozen years of experience in the United Methodist Church's legal system, and I have just a few matters that I'm wanting to help explain related to the role of being a support person for a complainant. One of the first ones is the importance of knowing the disciplinary process. The first two critical pieces, the two paragraphs to know right away when getting involved in a complaint process. In the Book of Discipline, paragraph 2702 has the list of chargeable offenses. And chargeable offenses are basically the list of things that if you're trying to initiate a complaint against a clergy person, you need to cite one of the offenses in this list. And the most common ones for the purposes of Cosro are usually going to be sexual misconduct or sexual abuse, but you can find the whole list in paragraph 2702.1. The other paragraph to know is paragraph 362. This is the paragraph that lays out the provisions of the complaint process. That to file an official complaint, a formal written complaint, you have to write a letter about what happened and cite something from the list in 2702.1, and then submit that to the bishop, to a bishop or a district superintendent. And email is a perfectly fine way of doing that. The next couple pieces that I want to talk about is, one is about your relationship with the complainant. The importance of supporting them and striving to help them wrestle with what is the best path forward in whatever they have experienced without leading the complainant in one direction or another. Part of your role is to help them in going through this experience, to be there with them so that they're not alone. But as they explore what the possibilities are, what the possible options are, and what they're seeking to achieve out of this process, your job is not to tell them what the right answer is. You should do X. That's not your role. You are there to listen to them, and that's difficult. If someone is filing a complaint, something that is probably traumatic has happened to them. And part of your role is going to involve hearing that story. Listen as they tell you about what has happened. Ask good questions, but ask them in sensitive ways. Help them to consider the range of options that they might have and what might be the best way of proceeding. What is a path that gives them the best chance of attempting to achieve whatever they're seeking from this process. And encourage them. The third piece is about how to best participate in conversations with conference leadership, and there's a couple of pieces here. One, around being a persistent advocate. Ask to be included in all correspondence between the bishop's office, the conference office, and the complainant. Ask to be CC'd on those emails so that you're well informed. Be attentive to things like timelines. Ask for updates. If a bishop says that they're going to take these 3 steps and they'll do them by these dates, follow up with them about that to ensure that is actually happening. Ask for progress updates. But the other piece around participating in conversations with conference leadership is about how you conduct yourself within supervisory response meetings as a support person for the complainant. And there are sort of 2 pieces here that are really critical. One of them is you don't speak for the complainant. They need to be their own voice and tell their own story. So when things are going well, you're mostly just sitting there and listening. It's when things aren't going as well that then you have, there can be a need for you to speak up. Specifically, you need to be listening for what the bishop is saying and for what they are expressing that they are hearing from the complainant. You're listening for how well is the bishop hearing the complainant? How well are they listening? Are they understanding this person's experience? Are they understanding the key parts of it? Sort of like, are they getting it? And if they're not getting it, that's when your support becomes most critical. Can you ask a good question that gives the complainant an opportunity to say a little bit more about whatever the issue is that you feel like the bishop is missing? Can you ask the bishop to pause and allow the complainant to speak for a moment that you know they have something to say on the point that the bishop is discussing, and you want to be sure that the bishop hears it? Those are some of the kinds of ways in which you can be a really effective support person. And so that's what I wanted to share in this video.